Pumpkin, Sweet Curves, Book 2. Written by Megan Wade.
Copyright 2019 by Megan Wade. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced in any form or by any electronic or mechanical means, including information storage and retrieval systems, without written permission from the author, except for the use of brief quotations in a book review.
This audiobook was created with 11 Labs. Chapter 1. Petra. A blanket of white coats the city as far as the eye can see. A snap cold front bringing with it a snowstorm none of us were prepared for, closing the airports. I'm going to miss Thanksgiving, I pout. I tried and tried, but all the earlier flights are full. I know you're disappointed, Pumpkin, Dad says over the phone from his position in sunny Florida. But there's always Christmas. The weather can't get you twice in a year. It's just not the same. We never miss Thanksgiving as a family. I've never been alone on Thanksgiving either. I guess this is what I get for going to college so far from home. Boston University was always my first choice, but when my best friend moved here partway through high school, it was even more important for me to get here. Being the big girl who didn't fit in wasn't any fun without my skinny wing woman. Claire had made school bearable. Plus, she had a really hot older brother. I'll save you some pie, Dad says, his voice calm and understanding. He knows how much the holidays mean to me, but no one can control the weather. Thanks, Dad, I sigh. I'll call soon, okay? Say hi to everyone for me. I will. Stay warm, Pumpkin. We'll miss you. I miss you too. Hitting the end call button, I drop my cell on my bed, then twist my blonde hair into a knot, while I watch my roommate, Claire, zip up her overnight bag. Why don't you just come and spend Thanksgiving with Finn and me? We don't do much besides eat ourselves into a coma and watch trashy TV, but it's our little tradition. Just the mention of her brother makes my skin heat. He's the most beautiful man I've ever known. Not that I know him well. I've barely said 2 words to him my entire life. He's 13 years older than us, which means he was a high school senior when I still had pigtails in grade school. But he was, and still is, the center of every one of my romantic dreams. It should be illegal for one man to possess so many alluring qualities. I get flustered and tongue-tied just thinking about him. Oh no, I couldn't. I shake my head. Thanksgiving is for family. I can't intrude. Come on, Petra. You are family. I've known you all my life, and I'm not letting my best friend stay on campus by herself for the holidays. It's like a horror movie waiting to happen. I'll be fine. I'll study, get some reading in, and binge some Netflix. While eating a frozen turkey dinner? No, I know how much you love Thanksgiving, and I know you know how to make your mom's pumpkin pie, so you're coming home with me and giving us the gift of motherly love since Finn and I can't get that ourselves. That's low, I say, as she bats her long dark lashes at me and holds her hands together like she's praying. I'm powerless to say no, especially since she just played the dead mom card. No one can say no to that. So you'll come, she states, pulling out her cell. I'll just text Finn and let him know. He always cooks too much for just us, so he'll be stoked you're coming. Another reason I've always admired Finn is because he gave up a promising football scholarship to raise Claire after their parents died in a car accident. He was rumored to have been offered a full ride at an Ivy League college, but he won't even discuss it with Claire. He says he doesn't like dwelling on what might have been when he's perfectly happy with the life he's built for himself. That's another thing I respect him for. Finlay Ross is a self-made man. Beautiful, charismatic, hardworking, and honorable. In my eyes, he's absolutely perfect.
Chapter 2, Finlay. Petra is joining us for Thanksgiving? I stare at the message on my phone. Fuck. My dick gets hard just thinking about having her under my roof. For years, I've watched this stunning creature grow into the curvy goddess she is. But she's my little sister's best friend, and therefore she's been off limits. Not to mention the fact I'm an entire teenager older than her. In her eyes, I'm probably a lecherous cretin salivating over young girls. I shudder at the thought. When a business opportunity brought me to Boston, I was relieved to be away from temptation. But 18 months later, temptation followed, and I've had to resist going all caveman on her ever since. She's only 19 and I'm 32. Claiming her would be wrong. So wrong. So dirty. I get worked up just thinking about that tight little unclaimed pussy of hers wrapped around my cock, those soft curves beneath my hands, cherry red nipples between my teeth. Wait. What am I thinking? How am I supposed to spend a whole weekend with her when a text message about her gets me hard? Claire said they're on their way too. I fist my cock, needing relief. This is going to be a long weekend.
Chapter 3. Petra. I climb the stairs toward Finn's apartment slowly, listening to Claire babble about some issue she's having with her boyfriend Dave. I can barely hear her over the sound of my beating heart. I'm going to be around Finn for 3 whole days. Even growing up in the same town, I never spent that much time around him. Claire and I spent most of our time at my house. Finn worked a lot, and on the odd occasion when I was fortunate enough to be in the same room as him, I found myself so flustered I could barely speak to him. He probably thinks I'm weird and awkward. He must be dreading my being here. I really am fine spending the holiday in the dorm, I say, trying one last time to get out of this. Claire pauses in the middle of what she's saying and frowns. Are you even listening to me? What? Yes, of course. Dave is being passive-aggressive again. It was a pretty safe bet since Dave was always passive-aggressive when he didn't get his way. She stops on the 3rd floor and pulls her keys from her purse. Wrong. He wants me to meet his parents, and I think things are moving a little too fast for me. I mean, I'm only 19. Almost 20, I correct. Still, I'm too young to know what I want, let alone be confident enough to choose the man I want to spend the rest of my life with. I don't know. I always thought that when you know, you know. That's how my parents said it was supposed to be. Not everyone gets to be crazy in love like your parents. I don't remember heaps about our parents, but I remember the fighting. I have zero interest in being like that. Do you think that's how life with a Dave would be? She shrugs and slides her key in the door. Maybe. It's just too soon. She pushes the door open, and I quit breathing. I've only been to this apartment twice since moving here for school, and each time Finn was so busy in his home office I barely saw him. From Claire's description of their typical Thanksgiving, he wouldn't be working much. How am I supposed to cope when the man of my dreams is within my reach, yet so far from my grasp? My heart certainly chose the most unobtainable person to fixate on. Even without the whole little sister's best friend thing, Finn would never choose a girl like me. The women he's dated have been supermodel thin, and I'm not thin at all. Not that I'm down on myself. Being curvy has its perks. I can eat all the fries I want when I go on a date, not that I go on dates, and I can wear yoga pants as clothing and PJs without being called out on it. And I never feel like men are trying to hit on me. I can be in a room full of guys and feel completely safe. To most, I'm just a friend. And that's okay because I accept what and who I am. And I also accept that the object of my affection will be forever out of my reach. I figure I'll either get over him one day and find someone more in my league, or I'll pine forever and just get really great at talking to cats. I think I'd make a great crazy cat lady. Finn! Claire yells into the deathly quiet apartment once we're inside.
I'm working.
He yells back, and I breathe a sigh of relief. My God! He always does this, she mutters, stomping down the hall. I hear something about her thinking he's rude and that they have a guest. Then he says something about not being prepared for a guest, which makes me want to run the opposite way, while Claire tells him he's rude and selfish. It's the holidays. Work can wait, she says, as she heads back my way and finds me with my hand on the door. Quit trying to leave, she says, her tone exasperated as she pulls my bag from my grip. My God, you two are as bad as each other. So antisocial. She walks down the hall and opens the door to her room, dropping both of our bags inside. I just don't want to be in the way, I say, as I stand in her doorway.
You aren't in the way.
A rich timbre says from behind me, tingling up my spine and sending my nipples into hardened peaks. I want to moan, but I resist, instead forcing myself to turn around and face my obsession. Tall and broad-shouldered, his muscular frame seems too big for the hall. Every inch of my skin feels alive at his nearness, my fingers desperate to touch the silk of his dark hair. Hi, Finn, I force out, practically whispering as I struggle to meet his golden eyes. Thanks for letting me join you and Claire. He eyes Claire over my shoulder as he folds his big arms across his chest.
Claire says you make a mean pumpkin pie.
It's my mom's recipe.
Great. Well, feel free to check the cupboards for the ingredients you need. We've got about an hour before the store closes.
Sure, I'll do that right now.
Chapter 4, Finlay. She can barely look at me, and I can barely keep my eyes off her. If Claire wasn't sitting in the next room texting with her boyfriend, I'd struggle not to grab this woman's soft curves and spread her out on the counter, taking my holiday feast from her body. I bet that cunt is juicy and sweet, ripe for the taking. And I'd take it all right. I'd take it over and over again, making her come so hard she could do little more than mutter my name. I'd fill her waiting womb with my seed and let her know exactly who she belongs to. Pity what I want and what I'm gonna get are two very different things.
Looks like you have everything,
She says, turning away from the pantry, but speaking with a shake in her voice.
except for, fresh cranberries and heavy cream.
She swallows hard, delivering the information like she's afraid I'll yell at her. Something about that realization hits me hard in the chest. Is she afraid of me? I'll grab my coat and we can head to the store. Her cheeks turn pink.
Oui.
I chuckle. She's so sweet and innocent, but somehow, that flicker of fear turns me on even more. What is wrong with me? You need the cranberries and heavy cream, right? Let's go. Her mouth opens and forms an O. My dick twitches as my mind goes to the gutter, imagining my cock filling that sweet mouth of hers.
What about Claire?
Claire, I call out, eyes locked with Petra's. We're heading to the store. Do you need anything? Did you get the tiny marshmallows for the yams? I did. Then no. I'll wait here. A smile curves my lips. She'll wait here, I say to Petra, gesturing for her to head toward the door. I grab her coat off the hook and hold it out to her, inhaling the cinnamon scent of her hair as she slides her arms inside and thanks me in a small voice. I won't hurt you, I say, before my brain has had a chance to process the words leaving my mouth. She sucks in a breath as her beautiful brown eyes swing upward to meet mine.
What if I want you to? Chapter 5. Petra. What the hell did I just say? The words fall from my lips, shocking my ears, as my body shakes from absolute need. Torture is the best word I can think of to describe this nearness to him. Complete and utter torture. We say nothing for what feels like minutes, but is probably only seconds. Milliseconds even. But it's enough time for an understanding to develop between us. I always thought he avoided me because he had no interest in me, but after forcing myself to interact with him just now, I don't think that's the case. I know the gaze of an uninterested man by heart, and this is the exact opposite. Could it be possible that Finlay Ross wants me? Me? His little sister's awkward best friend? I've never had a man look at me this way before.
You want me to hurt you?
His eyes search my face and my breathing shallows. Closing my eyes for a second, I swallow hard and nod. Now or never, Petra. In a good way, I whisper, wanting to hide under a rock the moment the words are out there. You can't take this kind of admission back. He searches my eyes, and I'm not sure if he's interested or about to laugh at me. I suppose the best way to explain his expression is perplexed. He's insane, Claire complains, her voice filling the air and jolting us both back to reality. Suddenly, I feel very foolish. Finn clears his throat and turns toward her, giving me a moment of reprieve where I'm able to get my breath back.
Who's insane?
Dave, I need to go over there.
Because?
He wants her to meet his parents, I offer, finding my voice. Finn looks over his shoulder at me, his expression so normal. I wonder if maybe I imagined that whole exchange.
Why doesn't she want to meet his parents?
He asks before turning back to Claire.
Why don't you want to meet his parents?
Because. She shrugs. I'm not ready. Finn reaches out and places a big hand on his sister's shoulder.
Then don't. Your life. You decide.
She lets out a sigh. I know, but I need to go out and talk to him face to face. He thinks I don't want to be with him anymore, and I do.
Don't want to meet his parents?
Finn finishes for her. Yeah, but I need to go to his place and talk to him. I'll be as quick as I can.
Don't take long.
Finn says.
The storm is due to hit by nightfall.
I'll hurry. It'll be coffee and a conversation then home. Will you guys be okay without me? She mainly aims that question at me. I nod, incapable of speaking through my humiliation. I want you to hurt me in a good way. Kill me now.
Petra and I will be just fine.
Finn says. Okay, play nice. She gives Finn's giant bicep a squeeze and moves toward me. You'll be okay, right? She pulls her coat from the hook and looks at me with raised brows. I nod. Then she leans in and lowers her voice so only I can hear. He acts tough and scary, but he's a pussycat beneath it all. She gives me a wink. I'll be fast as I can. Then she's out the door and I can't breathe. I'm all alone with Finn.
We should get to the store,
He says, his voice devoid of feeling as he avoids eye contact and pulls open the door. My stomach drops. Maybe I did imagine it all.
Chapter 6, Finlay. Fuck, that was close. I was fighting the urge to show Petra a nice kind of pain by pulling her hair and kissing the fuck out of her when Claire announced her presence. And now she's gone, and I don't know how much restraint I have. All these years I've had the excuse of work as a buffer or my little sister acting as chaperone. And now it's a holiday, and I don't have anything to keep me away from the perfect little creature who's haunted my desires since she grew into a woman. It was like one day she was a kid, and then this goddess emerged. Golden skin, silky long hair, and curves for days. I've felt like a dirty old man ever since, but I can't get her out of my head. It's going to be an enormous battle of will keeping myself from dragging her to my bed. I want to claim her, own her, make her mine. And I'm not sure I can talk myself out of it this time.
Do you think they'll still have fresh cranberries?
Petra says all of a sudden, her breath coming out in tiny clouds, the cold pinking her cheeks. The store is only around the corner, so we walked to avoid fighting for parking. Will the pie be ruined if they don't? I ask, digging my hands further into my pockets so I don't try to hold her hand.
No, but it won't be the same. The sugared cranberries on top really make it.
We normally eat a store-bought pie, so a homemade version will be a treat nonetheless. She presses her lips into a small smile, then nods before she takes a breath like she's about to say something but stops herself. Something on your mind? I ask, wanting to hear the sweet sound of her voice.
No.
She says a little too quickly. I turn and look at her with a quirked brow, and she fidgets, frowning and biting at her bottom lip. She's completely adorable.
It's just...
She starts before she shakes her head and adds,
It's nothing.
It's just what? I prompt. Her eyes flash with worry as her top teeth press into her plump lip.
Before. What I said. I didn't mean anything. I had a brain fart.
A chuckle burst from my mouth. A brain fart?
Yeah, like a stutter or a moment of insanity.
So you were lying to me?
What? No, I never lie.
Her eyes go wide, indignant. So you do want me to hurt you in a good way? Her foot hits an icy patch on the sidewalk, and I reach out just in time to catch her, pulling her to me as I lean my big frame over her. It all happens so fast, but I like having her this close, her softness pressed against my hardness, and fuck, I'm really hard. Do you want to know what I wanted to do when I heard those words fall from your pretty little mouth? I murmur, my voice thick with need. She gulps, then nods, her breath fast and nervous. Let me show you, I say, threading my fingers into the back of her hair, my dick getting harder when she loses focus and a moan escapes. I pull back on her hair, my fingers tightening at the roots as I guide her head to the perfect angle. Then I bring my mouth to hers for my first taste of sweet perfection.
Chapter 7. Petra. His tongue slides against mine, demanding and in control. It's like all of my greatest fantasies are coming true on a busy sidewalk while the snow falls all over us. I can't think. I can't breathe. All I can do is respond as my body ignites beneath him. He pulls my hair and holds me close, the warmth of his lips and tongue making me moan and whimper. This is my first kiss, and it's everything I ever dreamed of.
You okay, sugar?
Finn asks, as he pulls away and straightens me so I'm standing on my own now. Ah. There are words somewhere in my head, but I can't find them. I'm just staring at him, making stupid noises while I hope the cold doesn't freeze the dampness of my panties. I'm dripping. He brushes a thumb against my cheek before tucking some stray hair behind my ear.
I've wanted to do that for a ridiculously long time.
He smiles, his gaze intense as he shifts it between my eyes. I still can't speak. He kissed me. Finn kissed me. I've wanted this since I was 13 and caught a glimpse of him shirtless when he'd come back from a run. Even when his football days were over, he never quit working on his physique. His dedication to physical perfection led to him opening a chain of fitness gyms that have made him very successful. I've watched him succeed from the shadows, like a frightened mouse without a voice. It's not that I was ever afraid of him, more that he's always overwhelmed me. His star feels too bright for a chubby little dormouse like me. Still, I kept myself for him, never feeling even an ounce of desire for another man, because how could I? Finn is everything I've ever wanted. I've loved him since I understood what love between a man and a woman meant. But I never thought it would be possible for him to want me. I'm the before photo for the women who train at his gyms. Why would he ever want me? Yet, here we are. He saved me from falling and he kissed me. I want him to kiss me again. Do it again, I blurt, my heart hammering in my chest. I'm never this bold, but something about this day feels magical. Be it the blanket of white or the imminent storm, today feels filled with possibility. Finn's fingers tighten around my waist and he grins.
How badly do you want those cranberries? Chapter 8, Finlay. With each step, the snow falls harder, and I find myself begging the heavens to open up sooner and keep my sister away. Is that a horrible thing to wish? I convince myself it's not. She's with Dave, and Dave loves her. If the storm comes, she'll spend the night with him. Maybe all of Thanksgiving too. Okay, I'm a terrible brother. I'm so desperate to claim Petra as mine that I'm wishing the only family I have away on a holiday that's about giving thanks for all that's good in life. And I am thankful. I'll just be more thankful if I can finally turn this sweet and innocent girl into my personal dirty little whore. From what Claire says, Petra has never had a boyfriend. It turns me on like nothing else to know that I'll be her first. I want to worship her pussy, suckle on her tits, and teach her what it is to be adored. She's always been so quiet and reserved, and I feel like I was put on this earth to drag her out of her shell, one mind-blowing orgasm at a time. I've waited so long for her to be ready for me, and now that she is, I won't be letting her go. Coat, I instruct, as I chain-lock the door once we're back in the apartment. Her fingers shake, but she complies, pulling down the zipper and shrugging out of it. I get out of mine at the same time, then pull the scarf from around her neck and run it through my fingers, wondering how she'd react to being my tied-up plaything. My cock jolts at the thought, but I decide to keep the restraints for later. First, I need to taste her.
Now what?
She asks, and I love how red her cheeks and lips are from the cold as she looks up at me with nervous excitement in her eyes. I reach down and grip her backside, hoisting her up so she has to wrap her legs around my waist. She lets out a tiny squeal that fills me with pleasure. Now, sugar, I make you mine. I carry her to the couch and set her down, getting on my knees in front of her. She's so trusting and willing, and I can't believe my luck. All this time fighting against this, and now it's like she's been delivered to me as a precious holiday offering.
Chapter 9. Petra. I might be having a heart attack based on the speed of my pulse, but even if that were the case, there's no way I would press pause on what's happening right now. Finn smooths my hair away from my face, his lips kissing a trail down my neck and chest, his hands moving beneath my sweater to cup my breasts and squeeze my already hard nipples. Oh, Finn. I let out a short moan as I lean my body into his hands, wanting more from him.
Take it off.
He lifts my sweater and I lift my arms, catching the hairband in my hair, so my blonde mane falls over my shoulders as the soft pink sweater is cast aside. I hope it looks as sexy as it feels, since I have zero experience with these things. But by the way his hungry eyes are drinking me in, I'm thinking it works.
You are so fucking beautiful, Petra. Those tits. They're
He releases a reverent breath.
magnificent.
Thank you. I grew them myself, I say, blushing because that was a really lame thing to say. I'm sorry, that was dumb. He smirks.
Don't apologize. I want to hear your voice. You've been hiding it from me. I want all of you.
I believe you, I say, because I don't want to come across as needy, but also because I really do believe him. My father always says that the eyes never lie, and Finn's golden orbs are full of hunger and desire. I believe he wants me. I'm not sure if I've hit my head, and this is some weird alternate reality, but I'm going with this either way.
Good.
He says, pulling my bra beneath my breasts.
Because I'm dying to make you hurt in a good way.
The corner of his mouth kicks up before he takes my butted nipple into his mouth, sucking then biting, so I gasp from the pain, before using his tongue to make it feel good again. This is magic. There's something I should probably tell you, I say, breathless as he moves to my other bud. He swirls his tongue, then drags his teeth along the length of it, before blowing cool air that makes my whole body shiver. I've never done this before.
Sex?
Any of it. He pulls back and meets my eyes with a questioning gaze.
Nothing.
No, I hadn't even kissed a boy, well, a man, until about 10 minutes ago. I'm afraid he'll tell me to put my shirt back on, but then a grin curves his lips.
You saved yourself.
I only ever wanted you. His grin grows wider.
I'm gonna treat that sweet little pussy of yours so good as a reward. You did good, sugar.
You like that I'm a virgin? He leans in and pulls my lower lip into his mouth.
I fucking love it.
Guiding me until I'm lying, he slides his hand down my body, hooking his fingers in the waist of my pants.
Now let me look at this precious untouched cunt of yours.
His words send a delighted shiver up my spine, and I lift my butt as he drags them down my legs.
Open for me, sugar.
With a flash of nervous energy in my belly, I take a breath and part my thighs willingly. An animalistic growl rumbles out of his chest, then I feel his fingertips brush the edges of my dampness. Oh. I shudder with delight and desire.
You're perfect,
He says. As his gaze connects to mine, I watch the pure bliss cross his features as he slips his fingers into the slick wetness of my arousal. I gasp as I feel his fingers enter me. They're so big and I'm so tight. But my God, it feels so good.
Chapter 10. Finlay. Her lips are parted and her whole body flushed as I drive my fingers into her tight hole. I'm leaking pre-cum at the thought of getting my dick in her. She feels amazing, rocking her hips to the motion of my hand. I watch my tan fingers disappear into her glistening pink pussy. I'm gonna fuck you so good, sugar. You'll never want to leave my bed.
Oh!
Dropping my head, I suck a nipple in my mouth, circling my tongue as I slide my finger out and over her swollen clit. She mews like she's going to come, so I bite down on her nipple, giving her a little shock to pull her back from the edge. Not yet, I whisper, withdrawing my fingers before I scoop her up again and carry her to my bedroom. I don't want you coming until I tell you to, all right? She nods as I lower her onto my oversized bed, custom made for my broad 6'7" frame.
What if I can't stop myself?
I give her ass a gentle tap and run my hand over the sting. Then you'll need to be punished.
Oh!
Her breathing increases and I grin before I reach back to pull my shirt over my head. You want to be punished? She seems turned on over the idea of getting spanked.
I want anything you can give me.
Then be a good girl, and I'll give you all 12 inches of it. Her eyes go wide, but I don't give her long to freak out over the idea of my cock size before I lean down to kiss her deeply. Do you know how hard it's been pretending I'm not obsessed by the idea of bending you over and fucking you until you scream? I stand and unbutton my jeans, lowering the fly and releasing my cock. It bounces free, long, thick, and proud. Petra sits up on her elbows and licks her lips. Can I touch it? God, she makes me smile. So sweet. So pure. I love that I'm introducing her to this world of adult pleasure. When I tell you, you can, I say, kicking my jeans to the side. Now, lie back down. Obligingly, she does as I say. Such a good girl.
Chapter 11. Petra. I want to ask him exactly how long he's been wanting to fuck me. How long has he felt tormented by me? As long as I've wanted him? It gives me great pleasure to think a man like him could ever be tempted by me. I feel like he's my perfect match, that despite our age difference, we were put on this earth to complement each other. He's so oversized and hard, and I'm oversized and soft. See? Perfect. Or maybe I'm just romanticizing what is really just a sleazy afternoon fuck. Maybe there's no romance to this at all. Maybe this is what I get. Either way, I'm going to enjoy every minute of it.
You're such a sweet little thing,
He says as he runs his hands along my legs, gripping behind my knees and dragging them wider so his face fits comfortably between my thighs.
So pretty and pink. I love how ripe you are for me, sugar. I'm dying to be the first and only man inside you. But first, I want to taste.
Little? Only? He's saying all the right things, everything I've ever wanted to hear, but I dare not get my hopes up. Instead, I let out my breath, slowly anticipating his mouth on me.
Tell me you want me, sugar.
He breathes. I don't even hesitate. I want you, Finlay. I want all of you. I need this.
Right answer.
He lets out a moan as he buries his face between my thighs, hungrily lapping at my juices and lightly flicking his tongue over my clit, causing me to twitch my hips in response. It feels so good, better than I ever expected, but I'm close to bursting. I don't know if I can hold on much longer. Oh God, Finn! I can't take much more of this. I'm going to come.
Not yet.
He commands, and I grab his head, holding him to me as he sucks at my clit and swirls his tongue, teasing my entrance with his thick fingers. I'm dying, and we've barely even begun. I can't. He plunges 2 fingers deep inside, fucking me hard and fast as I hiss and writhe. I don't want to disappoint him by coming early, but my whole body is a tight coil, and I don't know if I can do it. Finn!
Now, sugar.
He growls, latching into my clit with a force that sends me howling over the edge. I call out his name, over and over, gripping his head tightly between my thighs as I explode, bucking against him as he drives his fingers inside me, curling them forward to rub that sensitive spot inside.
You're fucking beautiful when you come.
His voice is a growl, and I can feel another orgasm mounting, and call to the heavens this time, exploding once more. This is what I've been missing all my life. Oh God, Finn!
My sweet sugar.
He says, as he wipes at his mouth, then climbs on top of me, his heavy cock dragging up my thigh in a damp trail.
I love how responsive you are.
I bite my lip. You're good at that touching and licking thing, I say, out of breath but buzzing. He chuckles, kissing me so deeply I can taste my sweetness in his mouth. Then he nibbles his way to my ear.
I'm gonna fuck you now. And I want to do it bare. Can I break you bare, sugar?
He sits back, stroking his long, thick shaft while I watch in pure amazement. Yes, I whisper, wanting nothing more than to feel his seed deep in my womb. But I'm not on the pill.
Good.
He says, causing me to gasp as he creeps over me and holds his weight, his arms either side of me as he nudges his tip at my entrance, locking my eyes with his, studying me. Good? He circles his cock over my entrance, lubing himself up before nudging in just slightly.
Yeah. Sugar. Good. I'm claiming you as mine. That means this body and that little virgin womb of yours is mine too. I've wanted you for too long to only have you once, so I'm gonna need you in my bed and my life for a very long time.
My heart just about bursts out of my chest. I know it's cheesy, and I know it's over the top. This is a dream come true for me. I don't care if it's crazy, I'm all in. I want everything he can give me. Then take me, I whisper, lifting my hips to nudge him further inside. I'm yours.
Chapter 12, Finlay. Take me. I'm yours. My sweet little sugar knows how to say all the right things. She's perfect. Put on this earth specifically for me. And I want to make this first time special for her. So I'm trying to stop myself from driving into her with one swift movement. It's so tempting when her virgin cunt is a vice around my tip. But I need to go slow. Give her time to adjust my size. I can see the pain in her expression with every little push. And I coach her with my voice, telling her to relax, to breathe. I'm almost there. Then I feel that tiny bit of resistance and grit my teeth, knowing this will be easier for her if I do it fast. This is it, sugar, I say, as I swivel my hips and drive the rest of the way inside her. She takes my entire length, her pussy lips connecting with my base as I grind against her.
Oh, God!
Her eyes go wide, but there's pleasure there, her mouth open, gasping. Breathe, sugar, I coach, my fingers in her hair, calming her as I give her time to stretch. I'm gonna move now. She nods quickly, looking a little frightened. But once I'm moving through her slick juices, her expression goes from shocked and nervous to blissful and delirious.
Oh, Finn.
She gasps as we're overwhelmed by the erotic intensity of being connected so deeply. She quivers and moans, and it's fucking beautiful, watching this slice of perfection discover her carnal joy. I'm honored to be hers, and I'm never fucking letting her go. You feel so good, sugar, so fucking perfect and tight. I'm gonna come inside you so hard, I can't even stop myself.
Do it.
She gasps.
I want that.
You've gotta come with me. Think you can do it again? She nods, her hips rocking, insides clenching. I know she's close. Fuck, I love watching you come. Come with me, sugar. Come with me. Her mouth drops open and her head falls back. Then she's arching her back and howling, her sweet little cunt squeezing me so tight I spray myself all over her inner walls, filling her womb so deeply that I'll be leaking out of her for days. I love you, Petra, I say, gazing into her chocolate brown eyes as our breathing settles. You're it for me. A small smile curves her lips, and I lean down to kiss that sweet mouth, but suddenly, she's a flood of tears. Shit. Did I break her?
Chapter 13. Petra. He loves me. Holy fuck. He loves me. Those were the very last words I expected to come out of his mouth, and I want so hard to believe them. But Claire warned me that men will say anything after they've come. And it doesn't mean they love you, just that they love what they just did to you. And now I'm so confused, because I don't know if I should say it back, or put every wonderful statement he made into the things said during sex box, never to be reopened or taken seriously.
Hey, sugar. What's wrong?
He runs the back of his knuckles lightly along my cheekbone.
It's silly, I sniff, avoiding eye contact. Did I hurt you?
No, I mean a little, but in a good way. I give him a watery smile.
Was it the love thing? Too much for you?
No, it was perfect. I press my lips together as I find the courage to say the words. I don't think you're supposed to say that for the first time while your dick is still in me. The side of his mouth quirks, then his chest bounces, and he's laughing.
Okay, sugar. I promise to tell you I love you again once I take my dick out of you.
The jolt of his body makes his penis shift inside me, and oh, it feels good. Oh. My eyes roll back in my head. Don't take it out yet.
Sugar wants some more?
He quits laughing and grinds his hips into me. Uh-huh. I nod emphatically. He grins and kisses me with passion.
So insatiable.
He nibbles at my ear.
I love it.
I love you, I whisper, and he smiles.
I thought we weren't supposed to say that while I was balls deep in your sweet little cunt.
I slide my hands down his back, dragging my nails over his flesh. Maybe we can make an exception this once. He rolls his hips.
Good, because I don't think I'm coming out of here anytime soon. Chapter 14, Finlay. I'm nowhere near finished with her, But since the girl just gave me her virginity, I force myself to take a break from her body and get us both cleaned up. It leads to more sex in the shower, but after the water turns cold, we're out and dressed, and I'm making my goddess some food while she prepares the pumpkin pie for tomorrow. Which reminds me. I hope Claire is okay, I say, putting the tomato I'm holding down, then going in search of my cell.
She probably got caught at Dave's house. By the sound of the wind, the storm has hit pretty hard.
Petra says, nodding towards the window.
I hope we'll have electricity for the oven tomorrow.
It's gas, I say, and the building has a generator, so we'll be fine.
Oh, that's lucky. The dorm is all electric, so when there's a blackout, we get nothing.
She gives me a smile as she kneads the pastry dough with the heel of her hand. I stop, cell in my hand, and just take a moment to absorb the reality of this situation. She's mine. Finally, she's mine.
Is everything okay?
She asks, glancing up at me. I smile because she's so pretty. She's wearing one of my t-shirts as a dress, and her hair is pulled back but slightly mussed because I keep grabbing it when I kiss her. And her face, it's stunning. Her eyes sparkle and her cheeks are round and rosy. She's the picture of happiness, my happiness, and I'm never letting her go. I just love you is all. Her grin widens, and she tilts her head to the side.
I love you too, Finn. I always have.
Me too, I say, before correcting myself so I don't sound creepy. From an appropriate age, of course. She laughs.
Of course. Did Claire text you?
Oh. I really am a terrible brother. Lifting my phone, I activate the screen and find I have a few unread messages. All from Claire. She's fine, but she's worried about us since we haven't responded. I should probably call her.
Okay, I'll keep making this pie.
I kiss her on the temple as I walk past. And I love having you in my kitchen. I give her a light tap on the ass, and she squeals before giggling. I'm the happiest man alive. Claire, I say when the call connects after a single ring. Where the hell are you? Are you okay? I'm freaking out here. We're fine. Cell coverage was just a little spotty here for a while. I lie, not wanting to break it to her that I was fucking her best friend the whole time. She's not going to react well, so I think that's something we need to do face to face. But you both got home in time? Everything's fine? Everything's fine. We turned around before we even got to the store. Petra is substituting some ingredients, but she's making the pie as we speak. And the turkey is in the brine? The turkey is in the brine. Good. I was worried you'd forget since that's my job. Everything is ready to go. When do you think you'll get here? I don't know. I'm stuck at Dave's until the storm clears. So maybe in the morning? We'll have to see how much snow is out there. I'm worried I won't make it back and miss out altogether. I'll get a dog-pulled sled if you need it. We'll have our Thanksgiving. Thanks, Finn. You're the best big brother in the world. I chuckle because I feel like a pretty crappy one right about now. I do okay. Just stay safe, okay? I will. And Finn? Yes? Are you and Petra at least speaking to each other? I mean, you're not hiding in your office while she does all the cooking, are you? I look over my shoulder to the kitchen where Petra's curvy ass is swaying as she hums. My dick goes instantly hard. We're getting along just fine, I say. If only she knew the truth.
Chapter 15. Petra. I slide the pie base into the oven to blind bake in preparation of the filling. It's not the same as the pies Mom makes, but it's close enough that it still tastes great. Finn dips his finger in the mixture for the filling, then tastes it with an appreciative sound.
You need to make this every year.
Every year, hey? I can't help my smile.
Yeah, every year. You're mine now, sugar. There ain't nothing gonna keep us apart.
That makes me very happy. He hooks his arm around my waist.
You might not think I've seen you over the years, but I have. I've seen the way you sit back and let your friend have the light. I've seen the way you bolster her confidence and listen to her woes. After our parents passed, Claire was lost. But your friendship pulled her out of it. She didn't have a mother in her life, but somehow, you made up for that. And you were just a girl, the same as she was. I've always thought you were so amazing, so much more mature than your years. I think the moment I fell hard for you was when the night of junior prom. You were supposed to get ready together at your place, but she had a dress emergency and you came rushing over, sewing kit in hand, and sat there soothing a crying Claire while you repaired her dress. I remember feeling so fucking helpless, but you knew exactly what to do, even though you were only 17.
You've loved me since I was 17? He nods.
Does that make me a dirty old man?
Well, you didn't act on it until now, and as you said, I was very mature. I smile up at him, my heart so full, because this is all I've ever wanted. Me and him and me, babies. He leans down and kisses me, breathing me in before pulling back and saying,
I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Trash chute.
He reaches behind me and takes the bag we've been dumping all our mess in. How romantic! He chuckles.
It's the little things that make a relationship, Petra. And being able to wake up to an apartment that doesn't smell like rancid turkey blood is one of them.
With a wink, he pulls away from me, heading out the front door and into the hall. I take a moment to twirl and hug myself. This is really happening. He returns just as my twirl ends, and I do my best to stand, like I wasn't just reenacting the Sound of Music hill scene.
Why don't you sit?
He suggests, washing his hands.
I'll finish up these sandwiches and bring one over to you.
The lights flicker above us, and I look up, wondering how long a generator can power a whole building for.
Storm's getting closer,
He says, turning his back to me as he slices some tomato and places it on our sandwiches. It's ham, cheese, salad, and mayo on rye bread, his favorite. I like that I know these things about him, and I like that he knows me well enough to know I like the same. We've been quietly learning about each other for years.
My lady,
He says, putting the plate in front of me with a flourish. He also offers me a can of Coke on his arm, like the waiters at a fancy restaurant do. It makes me giggle. Why, thank you, Garson. He grins and steps back, just as the lights flicker, then shut off, plunging us into darkness. How long until the generator kicks in? I ask, a little lost in the dark.
About 15-20 minutes. Depends on how fast the super gets to the basement. Never fear, I prepared for this.
I hear a click, then see a spark and a flame as a candle is lit and placed on the table between us. My man thinks of everything, I say, clapping my hands.
I love hearing you call me that, sugar.
I smile. My man?
Keep talking like that and I'll spread you out on this table.
Promise? He chuckles.
Eat, sugar. You were untouched a few hours ago. We have to give your body some time to recover.
He's right. I do feel a slight swelling along with a dull ache between my thighs. But I don't care if we made it worse. The rewards are too good. What if I do something for you then? I pick up my sandwich and take a big bite. His brows rise as he eats.
What do you want to do?
I want to see it. I want to feel it, and I feel a little nervous saying the next part.
And?
I want to taste it. He takes a deep inhale as he bites his sandwich, chewing slowly like he's struggling with his control. Please, Finn, I want to do it all with you. I want to know what it's like to have you in my mouth, down my throat. He chokes, then coughs, recovering quickly before he says,
That mouth of yours is dirty, sugar.
I want to be your dirty girl, I say, feeling bold and sexy. He seems to love it when I tell him what I want, and I love seeing him react. It's intoxicating. He growls, then rises from his chair.
Then get down on your knees and come get it.
Okay. Nervous and excited butterflies flap about in my stomach and flutter in my chest as I lower myself to the ground.
Naked.
Oh. I pull the shirt from my body and leave it on the floor, moving to him on my knees. I watch his strong fingers work his length and the glistening of pre-cum on his tip, and I can't help myself. I lick my lips.
Look how excited you are.
I want to touch you, I whisper.
Then touch me.
He releases himself and groans as I reach up and slide my hands down his chest. Lower, lower. I feel his stomach jolt beneath my fingers. Feel good?
Hmm.
He nods, and his breathing catches as I stroke lightly up his shaft. Then his cock jumps when I wrap my hand around its girth. Is this okay? I ask, moving my hand up and down like the porn stars do on the internet.
It's more than okay.
His voice goes thick, his eyelids looking heavy. Can I lick it? I've never had a dick in my mouth, and I really want to know what his cum tastes like.
As long as you don't bite it, you can do anything you like.
With my eyes on his, I take a long, slow lick right over that swollen head. It's salty, like I just ate a fresh oyster from the sea.
You're so fucking gorgeous.
He's given me so many compliments tonight, but this one, coupled with the way his fingers caress the side of my face and the doting look in his eyes, makes me feel as though he's the first person to truly see me. For a girl who stood in the shadows, spending her lifetime feeling overlooked, this is the biggest come-to-Jesus moment I've ever had. I'm gorgeous. In the eyes of this man, the only man who's ever mattered to me, I'm gorgeous. No more hiding. I love you, Finn. I smile, then lick his tip again, sucking a little before I open my mouth wide and take him inside. I barely make it past that ridged part where the helmet becomes the shaft when his fingers grab my hair and he hisses.
Stop!
Did I do something wrong? He hauls me to my feet and sits me on the table, standing between my legs.
No, sugar, you're perfect.
He leans in and sucks my lip into his mouth, nibbling lightly as he probes at my center with his thick tip.
I just won't last long with that sweet mouth on me. And if I'm gonna come, I want it to be inside my girl.
A huge grin spreads across my face, and I shift my hips closer, urging him inside. I want that too. With his eyes locked on mine, he pushes in, deeper, deeper. I hook my legs around his waist, heels in his ass, and I open my mouth in ecstasy. Who knew feeling so stretched and full would feel so good? His fingers dig into my hips as he pulls back, then drives into me. I drop my head back and moan, my orgasm tantalizingly close. I hold on, knowing I need to wait until Finn tells me to let go. My body heats with each thrust, my mind feeling desperate and needy. And just as we're about to explode, the lights come back on. Someone screams. And it's not me.
Fuck!
Finn pulls out and grabs his shirt, throwing it over me at warp speed.
What the hell are you doing back in the middle of the night?
I don't know, Finn. What the fuck are you doing hammering into my best friend? Claire. Oh God, I can't even make myself turn around. But I do. I find my horrified best friend standing about a yard away from my naked ass, while her boyfriend tries to hide his smirk. Kill me now.
It's not like that.
Finn yells, pulling on his pants, while I try desperately to disappear into nothingness. I regret knocking back magician camp that one summer now. You're disgusting, Finn. You've known her since she was a little kid. What the hell is wrong with you? You're almost old enough to be her father.
Excuse me?
Finn steps closer to her, his hands on his hips, making his broad frame even wider.
I have given everything to you. When Mom and Dad died, I quit my life and raised you. And I don't regret a single fucking moment of it. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. But I've been lonely.
Lonely? You've had plenty of girlfriends.
Have I? Name one?
She opens her mouth, closes it, then opens it again, but no sound comes out.
That's right.
Finn says.
Because there haven't been any. I've gone on a few dates, but I've never had a girlfriend because you were my #1 priority. And now that you're grown, Petra has grown too. And...
That doesn't mean you get to fuck my best friend, she screeches, before spinning on her heel and running straight for the front door, exiting with a loud bang.
Shit!
Finn runs after her, leaving me in nothing but a cotton shirt with Dave looking awkward. She doesn't like change, Dave says finally. Biting my lip in an attempt to hold on to my emotions, I nod my understanding. Claire has never been good with change. I don't know why we ever thought she'd accept this. I should go and... I thumb over my shoulder and Dave nods, the timer going off on the oven as I gather all my clothes. Should I get that? Dave asks. Please, I say as I lock myself into the bathroom.
Chapter 16, Finlay. I never asked you to give up your life for me. Claire yells, trudging along the snow-covered sidewalk. Just because you did, doesn't mean I owe you my best friend's virginity, or some sick fucked-up kink like that. That's not how it is, Claire, I say, out of breath from chasing her through thick fucking snow. I grab her arm to make her stop walking. I love her. You what? I love her. I shrug. It shouldn't need more explaining than that. Since when? Junior prom. We were like 17 then. I know. It's when I realized. Is that why we left Florida? I run my teeth over my bottom lip. Partly. I had hoped the feeling would go away. So you've been skeezing on her all this time? No. Kind of. How long have you been sneaking around behind my back? I thought you hated each other. Tonight is the beginning. We were alone together, and I couldn't say no to myself anymore. She's mine, Claire. And if you don't like it, well, too bad for you. I gave up football without a second thought, but I won't give up Petra. She's everything to me. So what? You want to marry her or something? Yes, I say without a moment of hesitation. I want everything with her. She lets out a cloud of breath as she studies my face. Okay, she says finally. Okay? Yeah, she says with a slight roll of her eyes. You can date my best friend, but only if you treat her like a queen, and only if I never have to walk in and witness that again. She points to the apartment building and shudders. This is still super icky, but I get it, Finn. If you love her, I'm not going to get in your way. Well, I wasn't asking your permission, but thank you. She will be worshipped for all eternity, and if we could get out of this freezing cold, I'd like to go back up there and watch her finish baking that pumpkin pie she started. It smelled really good, she says, as I slip my arm around her shoulders, and we trudge back to the apartment. It did, didn't it? I told her the pie was going to be her contribution every year. You're planning that far ahead already? I told you I'm planning to marry her. I guess you'll be popping out kids too. Of course. Give us a few years and Thanksgiving will be absolute chaos. She leans into me and smiles. You know, Finn, I think that sounds pretty wonderful. I squeeze her shoulders. Yeah, I do too.
Chapter 17. Petra. Blowing my nose on a balled-up wad of toilet paper, I try to stop myself from crying long enough to go out there, grab my things and get out of here. No way can I have Thanksgiving with them now. Claire thinks we're disgusting, and Dave, well, he saw my naked ass. I'm going to have to move to another state and change my name to avoid the embarrassment. It was great while I lasted, I say to myself, shoulders bouncing as I hiccup out the words in between sobs. But I can't give him up now. I don't want to. How unfair is it that I'm shown the joys of love only to have it stripped away from me hours later? A soft rap sounds at the door, and I roll onto my knees, then get up to stand against it. Who is it? It's me, Claire says. Finn and I talked. Will you let me in? Are you going to tell me I'm disgusting again? Just saying the words makes me erupt into tears again. Oh, honey. No. I never meant that you were disgusting. Just my oaf of a brother. But I realize he's not at all. He loves you, and I'm guessing by your locking yourself in the bathroom, you love him too? Yes, I manage. Then let me in so I can hug my new sister. We're more than friends now, Petra. We're family. Smooshing my tissues up against my teeming eyeballs, I sniffle and unlock the door, welcoming the embrace from my best friend. Well, my new sister. I hadn't even considered that part, but when Finn and I get married, that's exactly what we'll be. I'm so sorry you found out that way, I say as she holds me. I'm sorry for freaking out the way I did. It's okay, I understand. She pulls back and meets my eyes with a watery smile. I'm pregnant, she blurts, and my mouth falls open because that's the last thing I ever expected to come out of her mouth. What? It's why Dave and I have been fighting. He wants to get married and raise the baby together. Which is why he's pushing so hard for you to meet his family. She presses her lips into a smile. Yeah, and I'm just really scared. I only remember flashes of my mom. How am I supposed to be one? I think it's just something that you become when you bond with your baby. But we can read books on the subject and figure it out together. If your brother gets his way, we'll be raising babies at the same time. Ew, she says with a smile. But thank you. I think I'm going to say yes to him. Did he propose already? She nods. I told him I needed more time to think, but hearing Finn talk about you and be so positive that you belong together helped me do that. I love Dave, and I want this baby. A smile takes over my features. I'm so happy for you. And I'm happy for you. We embrace again, laugh a little, then embrace some more. After that, I take a moment to splash some water over my face before heading to my overnight bag for a change of clothes. When I make it into the living area, I find all three of my growing family sitting together and laughing at some story Dave is telling. He's sitting with his hand on Claire's leg, and she's relaxed and glowing. The moment I come into view, Finn's head turns and his smile becomes mine and mine alone. He stands and holds out his hands for me, and I fall into his embrace.
Sugar, I missed you.
He says, pressing a kiss on the top of my head. Me too, I say. I got a little freaked out.
But we're good now?
Always, I say. There's no one for me but you.
Likewise.
His hand moves to my ass and he squeezes.
I know what I'm thankful for this year.
Rising up on my toes, I press my mouth his. Me too, and every year after that. Epilogue. Petra. Thanksgiving, 8 years later. Stop. I giggle as Finn catches me about the waist and pushes me against the wall of our bedroom. I have to put the pies in the oven or they won't be ready on time. Dropping to his knees, he hooks one of my thighs over his shoulder and lifts me just high enough so that my pussy is aligned with his face.
Good. The kids are playing with their cousins under the supervision of their auntie and uncle. I want my wife's pie before we worry about anyone else getting theirs.
My giggles turn to moans when his tongue sweeps between my folds. God, he does amazing things to me. 8 years together, 7 of them married, and he still turns me on like we just met. I can never get enough of him. Unable to keep both feet on the ground, I lift my other leg and Finn pushes it onto his other shoulder, rising up on his knees. My back slides up against the wall as I hold onto his hair for balance, my dress practically covering his head. My God, I gasp as he sucks back harder, his tongue moving inside me, then back to suck against my clit. The rhythm and pressure causes my insides to tighten and swell.
Not yet, sugar. You taste too good.
8 years and 4 children later, and he still says those things to me. If someone had told me the day before Thanksgiving all those years ago that I'd be in this position, I'd have called them crazy. But Finn made my dreams come true that year, and I've been thankful ever since. He's given me love, children, and a beautiful home with a bungalow out the back for when my parents come to visit from Florida. They always complain that Boston is too cold, but I love it. Whenever it snows, I'm reminded of that first magical kiss that led to that first magical night, and I know I could never leave this place. Finn, please, I'm desperate, I beg, my orgasm only moments away. I'm right there. He flicks his tongue at rapid speed over my clit, and I struggle to maintain control, but then he says those magic words.
Come for me, sugar.
And I explode. Holy fuck! My hips buck against his mouth as his tongue sucks and swirls, keeping the sweet torture going.
Oh, sugar. This cunt of yours is as perfect as the day we started.
He lowers me to the ground, then kisses passionately, pinning me against the wall with his body as he grinds his magnificent cock into my belly. Fuck me, Finn. Bend me over and bang me until I can barely stand. He chuckles before he releases me.
It's time to make the pies,
he whispers, pulling back and leaving me wanting more. Always wanting more. No fair. I pout as I lean against the wall, already excited for the next moment when he gets me alone. Thanksgiving was my favorite holiday before Finn claimed me, but it's become even more important because it's also the day he married me. Every year, we sit around the table with our ever-increasing family, and I'm the most thankful woman in the world.
Happy Thanksgiving, sugar.
he says with a wink as he slips out of the room. I smile to myself. I love him so much.
Epilogue 2, Finlay. Before we feast, I'd like us to raise our glasses in a toast, I say, taking the time to look at each person gathered around our table for the Thanksgiving meal. There's my beautiful Petra, our 4 children, and Claire, Dave, and their 2 kids. For years, Claire and I were the only family either of us had, and we'd sit together, barely making a dent in our Thanksgiving feast, while assuring each other that we didn't need more while secretly wishing there was. The biggest thing missing for us was family. Ever since that fateful accident took our parents from us, a gaping hole developed in our lives. I did everything I could to give Claire a good life filled with love and attention, but it wasn't the same as a big family could give. Now, between us, we've made a tribe of 10, and I am so incredibly grateful. I'm grateful to Claire for bringing Petra into my life. I'm grateful to Petra for filling my life with love and giving me beautiful children, 2 girls and 2 boys. And I'm grateful to Dave for making Claire happy and giving her 2 children of her own. She and Petra have remained the best of friends, helping each other through the ups and downs of pregnancy and kids, and I just love that we're all together. It makes my toast easy to make. There's no need to search for something nice to say, because everything about these people at my table is fucking amazing, so I lift my glass and smile. To love. May we all keep it, nurture it, and share it. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, they chorus. And as I sit back down, my wife's hand snakes across my thigh and lands on my cock under the table, hidden from view.
Happy Thanksgiving. Don't forget I owe my man a nice time against a wall.
I grin and lean over, giving her a kiss on the curve of her neck. You owe me nothing, sugar. You've already given me the world. But I won't say no to a little. I whisper enough dirty words in her ear to make her blush, then choke a little on her wine.
Naughty, naughty.
She murmurs so only I can hear. I know, but it'll all have to happen after your famous pumpkin pie.
To discover more quick and dirty instalove reads by Megan Wade, search Megan Wade's Sweeties on Facebook and join. Her next installment in the Sweet Curves series, Pop. Here's the blurb. Pop. It's a drink. It's a name. For me, pop was the sound my cherry still hadn't made. I was 22 and still a virgin. I thought it was because of my curves, but my friend said it was because I'm too picky. Maybe she's right. In this small town, there aren't a lot of eligible men to choose from, especially when your brother warned them all away from you in high school and the don't touch rule kinda stuck. Meaning I'm stuck being a 22-year-old virgin who works in a 50s-style milk bar and has 0 prospects in life. That is, until a blast from the past comes riding into town. Derek Starr. The baddest boy our sleepy town has ever seen. He was the one guy willing to go against my brother's rule. My first kiss. My only kiss. Will he be the first man to pop my cherry too? Warning, this quick read contains over-the-top declarations, insta-love and molten hot moments between a curvy girl and a dirty-talking bad boy who knows exactly what he wants. He'll do anything to be the one to break this innocent girl in and make her his. Each Megan Wade story carries her sugar promise of over-the-top romance, alpha heroes, curvy heroines, low drama, high heat, and a guaranteed happily ever after. What could be better than that?
This has been Pumpkin, Book 2 in the Sweet Curves series, written by Megan Wade, narrated by digital voices Matilda and Josh. Audio copyright 2024 Megan Wade.